So, hello again, YouTube. I apologise about looking so beraggled at the minute, but I'm not all that well. I think I've contracted the flu, so after I've done this, I'm going to go back to bed. I have noticed in the news now that President Biden has allowed the Ukrainians to use US missiles on Russian soil. As in, he's allowed them to be fired into Russia. This is also going to be something that the British will allow, and also something that the French will allow, sadly. And this is all done before Trump gets into office. Because of this, we are now, as Gobster once said on one of his videos, this is the closest we've come to nuclear Armageddon since the 1960s with the Cuban Missile Crisis. Now, admittedly, I was never there. I was only born in 1985, so I learnt about what happened at school, and also courtesy of my parents because they saw it as well. But we now stand on the nuclear threshold. Do we allow these missiles to be fired at Russia, and therefore, in that sense, state that we are now at war with Russia? Because these missiles that the Americans have used, that the Storm Shadow that the British have got, and that one that the French have got, they are only licensed to be used by NATO personnel. They're not allowed to be used by the Ukrainians. So for the West to say, oh, we're not involved in this war, yes, we are. Problem is, the politicians will not allow for us to say this because we don't want to make it look like we're trying to make anything worse. Gobster is right. We are on the brink of another world war. I said this 10 years ago to anyone that would listen, that we were on the brink of another world war. For the most part, I was laughed at my opinions. A few people listened, and they paid a couple, to their credit, those that did listen, they paid attention, but for the most part, I was laughed at. In 2022, we saw the opening salvos of this world war kick off with the Russian invasion of Ukraine. And then to make matters worse, October 7th last year, the Israelis were attacked by Hamas, which is a Iranian-backed terrorist group. Now, excuse me. This is all culminating in what is going to be effectively a global war. And I've got to admit, honestly, I'm frightened. This isn't something that any soldier, regardless around the world where they're from, really wants to fight or find themselves in. We don't mind the odd skirmish here and there, but when it comes to possibly fighting another world war, no. I mean, we were reluctant to go to war in 1914. We were extremely reluctant to go to war in 1939. But now it seems our imperialistic masters, shall we say, our glorious little, our glorious dictator, shall we call him, Keir Stalin, has decided, yes, we can allow the Storm Shadow missile to be fired at Russia. Yes, let's start another world war right before Donald Trump gets into office and lay it in his lap. The last couple of days, I'm not making this up, the last couple of days, I heard a lot of military aircraft fly over into Liverpool Airport. I really have. I've not been able to take any videos of them because I've largely been at work, but yeah. We are on the threshold of another world war, potentially a nuclear war, and if that happens, we're all dead. We all suffer. So, keep your opinions about, Putin's going to get it, or, maybe it'll land on London or something, because we don't like the government. Look, for your own benefit, don't go saying stuff like that, because it could get you in trouble. It could, because if you're saying that on my thing as well, it could get me in trouble, and I don't want that. I don't want you getting in trouble. I don't want to be in trouble. We need to take a step back. I know humans love knocking 10 shades of shit out of each other, But we need to take a step back, we need to breathe, we need to think, no, this isn't what we want to do. Nuclear Armageddon is not the way forward. And I fear that is what's going to happen should these missiles be used against Russia. Anyway, that's all I have to say on the matter. I'm going back to bed now. Take care.